central part of the state?
Quincy's in the south.
Quincy is in the south. The south is right. All right, let's start with you, Rich. What are your thoughts on the tournament so far, and maybe a little bit about Southern basketball, and is the South going to rise?
It's going to be very, very tough for us to rise in AA, but as far as this tournament, I think it's a great tournament. I think there's great teams out there. A lot of coaching's going on today and 2 Super Bowl games this afternoon, and it's a real shame that there had to be a loser. And I'm sure that, you know, we talk about Maine South and the North. Quincy Sullivan's actually got his start in the South. He coached at 2 small schools around Mount Vernon and Benton. So
that's right, and he was in Arkansas, too.
That's right. So I'm sure a lot of people claim when they like to get on their bandwagon when they're a winner.
Okay. Ron, what do you look for in this game that's coming up between Maine South and Quincy?
Quincy impresses me with their quickness. You know, their press is tremendous. And I really think that, you know, it's going to be a game of Quincy's quickness and their pressure. And, of course, this Douglas is just, you know, an outstanding player. But the guy I really like is that little guy.
The little guy, yeah. I think we all like him. You know, coming into this tournament, I heard the rumor around here that every ball club had a chance except one, and nobody wanted to mention that it was Maine South that didn't have the chance, and yet they're in the tournament. Why are they here? They're in our league, and I'm wondering myself. I know they're playing great basketball at this time, but how do you see them as a neutral observer?
Well, I believe, you know, they know what they're going to do. They're very well coached, and, of course, we can say a lot of everybody's left, but hey, they got a player in Jeff Baker that looks like that he knows what he's going to do. They'll go to him. He'll get the big basket. And, of course, when this happens, well, you know, you're going to win basketball games. And, hey, I like Maine South. I think if they get the lead, I think they can win the ball game.
How are they going to stop Douglas under there, Ron?
No one stopped him all year. You know, he can play inside or outside. He's just a tremendous basketball player. And I sort of lean toward Quincy.
Do you think this is going to be a high-scoring game, or do you think Maine will slow them down?
Well, I think Quincy, they like to get out. I think if they can get out and control the tempo of the game, it could be a high-scoring game. But if Maine South gets a lead, then I think, you know, as indicated, they have enough poise that they've been able to control the tempo of the games that they've been in, Jack.
I think you guys have originated this ball press that we see, and it's up north. They're using it all the time. How would you go against this, Rich?
I think you got to have somebody in the middle the majority of the time. They've got to keep the ball out of the middle. And then what we're going to try to do, when we cross the center line and we have the advantage, we're going to go ahead and try to score. If we don't have the advantage, well, we're going to try to back it up and get the good shot. But I think you've got to go ahead and try to score against it. And, of course, I know on the weak side they're going to cover and try to prevent you from getting the layup. But I think if Manley would have used cross early in the ball game, they may have give Quincy a ball game, but they didn't give it to him but a couple times, and that was it. And
well, Bennett put their big fella Lang up there and handled it quite well, and I assume that maybe Theodore might be up there for Maine South. But Maine South's a headsy ball club. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for being with us, and thanks also for your observations. When we come back, Tom Kelly and Floyd Brown will join us to give their thoughts on what might happen in the championship game. Our coverage will continue after this.
Jack Burmaster and his coaching friends have given us their ideas on the outcome of the championship game, scheduled to get along in just a bit. I'm going to see if I can't put Floyd Brown on the spot and have Floyd give us a prediction, because he does this so well. Floyd, who do you like in this championship game?
This can get me in trouble. Tell you, this Maine South Ball Club, we've got to really congratulate them on the fine tournament that they've had. They've surprised everybody down here. I don't think they were expected to win the games that they've won, and they've done very, very well. They average 6'4" across the front line, but I don't think they're going to be tall enough for a team that is 6'2", 6'2", 6'1" across the front, who has a center who's 6'2", named Keith Douglas, who jumps about 12 feet tall, and with all the quickness that they have, if they were able to get over the picket fence that Bennett put up today, I think that they're going to win the state championship, and I'm picking Quincy to win.
You're picking Quincy. Maine South, the Hawks. They tell me coming into this ball game throughout the season, they had about 7 to 8 basketball games that were three-point affairs that they've been hanging on by their fingernails, so to speak, all season long, and yet here they are. So I don't know if we can discount them. But you're picking Quincy, huh?
I'm picking Quincy.
Despite that tough struggle they've had, everything else, you're going with Quincy.
Double overtime and the whole thing.
Okay. All right. Double overtime and what have you. Well, in just a couple of moments, we'll find out how good our predictions are. I haven't made mine yet. In fact, I might do one with Burmaster a little bit there. Jack, do you want to offer a comment?
Okay. I said earlier in
I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Oh,
at this
I
time.
know. I know what you're going to do. We're going to run out of time, and then you're not going to predict again. I said before I want to be
I
neutral.
always predict the winner.
Oh, okay.
I'm a member of the Central Suburban League. We're in that league. Maine South is a champion in that league. I want to be neutral, but I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to take our ball club from our own league. And I think
Maine South.
Maine South. I think Quincy is due to be beaten. There's not many unbeaten clubs, as you know, come through. Maine South has had the benefit of a couple extra hours of rest. I think that Baker is a super ball player, and I think he's going to offset Douglas. I think they're going to handle this press of Quincy's, and they seem to be the Cinderella team. It's somebody nobody wanted to pick, and I'm going to go with them.
Maine South could have a lot of Cinderella qualities, no question about it. You refer to the fact that Quincy's unbeaten, and it's tough to go through a season and win them all. 10 teams have done it so far, 9 on the boys' side of the ledger and 1 girls' team. So if Quincy does do it, they'll become the 11th team in all of Illinois State high school basketball tournament history to have turned that trick, to go through the season unbeaten and win the state championship.
Don't kill the time, Tom. Give us a prediction.
Oh, I like Quincy to win it. I'm sorry about the Suburban League, and I really didn't know what you were going to end up saying. I just think that Leggett's Ball Club is a Central Suburban League. I just think Leggett's basketball team is a team of destiny. I think they're going to do it, and it's been, what, 23rd appearance for Quincy to be down here, and I think they're going to turn the trick. Gentlemen, we thank you for your comments. In a couple of hours, we'll find out just how good our predictions are. In a few moments, Jack Burmaster will join me in bringing you a last-minute fill-in on the 2 teams that'll meet in this championship game. Our coverage from Champaign-Urbana will continue right after this.
Excuse me, we're thinking of changing our phones around.
Any rooms in particular?
I'm not sure. You see, we're redecorating.
Well, for a bedroom, we have this princess phone. Lights in the dark. And for a kitchen, we usually recommend a wall phone like this trim line.
Gee, that is handy.
People of Earth.
And for a living room or den, we have a number of different styles. And if you're looking for a real conversation piece, they're the design line phones.
Illinois Bell has telephones in a variety of styles and colors. And by getting a Bell phone, you can be sure of the quality, plus repair service if you need it, usually within 24 hours. To get the phones that suit you best, call your Illinois Bell service representative or take them home from your nearest phone center store.
Hello, Mickey.
Yes?
Quack, quack.
69-60 for 3rd place. And with our championship game almost at hand, it's time now to take a closer look at the teams still in the running. To begin with, we're going to look at some videotape scenes we made of the first semifinal contest this afternoon. In that one, Maine South defeated East Moline 77-76 in overtime. Now, Maine South is located in Park Ridge, Illinois, 135 miles north of Champaign.
South in a 1-3-1 zone, and there's a steal.
And it almost pays off for them, but Carmichael comes up the ball. Now they do have a steal, and there's 2 on none, and the dunk. This is Mayfield. Jumper from the side. And the Hawks are coming up with the rebounds. The long lead pass. Excellent work underneath. 16 points, 3 rebounds in that game. And putting a little more pressure on the ball now. But no problem for the Hawks. A lot of pressure on the ball now by East Moline. The Hawks with the ball. Baker down along the baseline. Turn around. Beautiful. Feeds through. Goes home with the ball.
The Hawks of Maine South, 30-1. Very talented basketball team. And Quitman Sullins, I think, is an excellent coach. We've seen his team play 2 different styles of basketball, a delay, slow-down game to beat De La Salle by 10, and then to go all out against a ball club, East Moline, that played sensationally this afternoon and win in overtime, showing that they can really put some points on the board. I like this basketball team.
You better believe it, Tom. I've seen them several times now this year, and Quitman Sullins has brought this ball club along now to where they're truly a powerhouse. As you mentioned, they can do about anything. They've been behind in a lot of games.
Oh, yes.
Even if they get behind early in the ball game, they have the ability to come back. We talked about Jeff Baker, but he has a fine supporting cast. Sullins will mix everything up. If he sees one thing isn't going right, he'll change his offense, he'll change his defense. But in the end, it's going to be his wheelhorse, I think, Jeff Baker, that's going to have to take over and take charge.
They can run with the basketball, as they have showed us in this game this afternoon, and they can hold on to it, as they showed us last night. And Quincy is a ball club that loves to run with it. We could have them up and down the floor in a big hurry out there.
Could be a high-scoring game.
Indeed, it could be. Now let's take a look at some videotape highlights of that second semifinal game of this afternoon. That was the one in which Quincy defeated Bennett Academy 53-51 in double overtime. Quincy Senior High School is located in Quincy, Illinois. That's 175 miles west of Champaign-Urbana. Conrad has got a total of 18 points, the little guard. In the middle to Lang, poked away, steal. Douglas on the break. Lang to inbound the ball for Bennett Academy into Conrad. Conrad with 12 seconds to steal by Rudd. Rudd driving, goes in, takes it back. Douglas scores it. 6 seconds left. He leads by 2. We're in double overtime. Can Bennett Academy pull it out? They've got 95 feet to bring it up the floor. Inbounding Oviedo. Rudd's going to come up and challenge. The pass to Bagley to Conrad. 5 seconds, 4. In the middle to Lang. He missed it. The tip. It's over. Quincy wins. Quincy High School, 32-0. I mentioned that Maine South can play all kinds of basketball. Quincy just plays all out for 4 quarters and whatever else it takes to win. I like them very much. In fact, I pick them to win the tournament.
Yeah, well, they're interesting. You heard the Heron brothers from the Deep South.
Yes.
They're claiming Quincy in the South right now, and nothing more the South would like than to have a state champion. They are going to be tough to beat. There's no question about it.
And for the first time, Jack Burmaster, they match up size-wise, being 6'2" themselves, nobody taller, and the team from Maine South, they're at 6'4", nobody taller. For the first time, Quincy won't have to be looking up to everybody out there in the other uniform.
No, it's going to... Maine South is going to have to contain Douglas. If they can contain that guy Douglas inside, I think they can handle the perimeter people.
That is a lot easier said than done. Jack, thank you very much for your comments. Next, we're going to be learning about the homecoming plans of the 2 teams that are playing in the championship game, and we'll continue our coverage from Champaign-Urbana after we pause for this.
With me are Richard Heitholt, principal of Quincy High School on my left, and Dr. Richard Short, superintendent, Maine South on the right. Gentlemen, first of all, congratulations on a fine tournament. May the best team win, and I know you're going to have a celebration of some kind. What are you going to do, Mr. Heitholt, for those Quincy Blue Devils?
Okay, well, this is our 23rd time down here at Champaign, and they're used to some parades. We hope that we can leave here about 10 o'clock in the morning. We expect maybe to be at Liberty, that's about 17 miles from Quincy on 104. I have heard a rumor, and I'm checking that out. We may have to change the route a little bit, that a bridge is out at Meridosha, but our people will know that if that's true. And we want everybody to join the caravan at Liberty at about 1:30, and then we'll get in, and the boys will get on the fire truck at Jack's out on Broadway, and we'll go downtown on Broadway to 3rd Street, come back on Main Street, where all the history was made this year in Quincy High Gym. And we'll have a big welcome there for our outstanding team.
Well, Mr. Heitholt, even if the bridge is out, if you win, that's not going to make any difference.
No, we'll get home. We'll get home.
Okay, Dr. Short, how about the Hawks? I know I saw Bernie Brady up there, your athletic director, and he just crowed his punch. What are you going to do for that ball club?
Jack, we're all very proud of this group of young men. They've done a fine job this year, and has been said already, you know, they're last-minute ball club and last minute in terms of winning ball clubs, and we hope we'll be last minute today. Unlike Quincy, this is our first trip for a Maine ball club down here. We've been in existence 75 years, so we aren't used to this kind of thing. We will be planning a celebration for this group of young men. They're leaving here about 9 o'clock. They're traveling in 2 white vans, school-owned vans. They'll be coming up the tri-state, and they expect to exit the Toohey eastbound exit at about 12 o'clock. And we expect to be met there by the officials from the city. The caravan will move down through the city of Park Ridge and have a little caravan of people there. They'll move then to the Maine South Spectator Gym, where the band and the friends of these young people will be assembled to try to issue a congratulations to them, because we think congratulations will be due to them regardless of what the outcome of this ball game is tonight. We just want them to play their best, and we know they will.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck to both of you. We've just received word that Floyd Brown is standing by to bring the opening lineups for the championship game. Here he is.
Thank you very much, Jack. Here we are at courtside, and you can hear the buzzer in the background as we prepare to introduce the two teams as they will battle for all the marbles here, the championship of Illinois High School AA basketball, the year 1979. And now, here are the players for the Quincy Blue Devils. Number 4, senior Steve Sandercott. Number 11, sophomore John Lepper. Number 13, junior Chuck Robinson. Number 21, sophomore Mike Payne. Number 25, freshman Bruce Douglas. Number 43, senior Scott McGaffey. Number 45, senior Tim Cisna. And now the starting lineup for the Quincy Blue Devils. Number 15, at forward, 6'1", senior Steve Ball. Number 33, forward, 6'2", senior Keith Douglas. Number 35, center, 6'2", senior John Bloom. Number 3, guard, 5'7", senior Mike Rudd. Number 31, guard, 5'10", senior Doug Reed. The coach of the Quincy Blue Devils, Jerry Leggett. And now here are the cheerleaders for the Quincy Blue Devils. And now, here are the Maine South Hawks team members. Number 12, junior Jim Whalewander. Number 14, junior John Jensen. Number 30, junior Mike McCarthy. Number 32, junior Dave Holscher. Number 34, senior Todd Vukovich. Number 40, senior Brian Sir. Number 54, senior Tim Leffler. And now the starting lineup for the Maine South Hawks. Number 22, at forward, 6'4", senior Jeff Baker. Number 44, forward, 6'4", senior Dan Fiddler. Number 52, center, 6'4", senior Chris Theodore. Number 10, guard, 6 feet, senior Jay Heiler. Number 24, at guard, 5'11", senior John Crow. And the coach of the Maine South Hawks, Quitman Sullen. And now the cheerleaders for the Maine South Hawks. The 4 officials for tonight's championship game, Stan Hett and Jack Razor. Well, there you have it, both the teams and the officials and the coaches and the cheerleaders, and we have what promises to be an exciting ball game from 2 fairly evenly matched teams. The starting lineups again for Quincy: Steve Ball, Keith Douglas, John Bloom, Mike Rudd, Doug Reed, and for the Maine South Hawks, Jeff Baker, Dan Fiddler, Chris Theodore, Jay Heiler, John Crow. And now, for the 25th time in his career to bring you the championship game. And it's a pleasure to work with him again. Here to give you the play-by-play action is Tom Kelly.
Thank you, Floyd. Quincy in blue. We've got Maine South in white. If you're a bug for stats, it's interesting to note that every team we've seen today in a dark jersey has won their games. If that means anything, Maine South doesn't believe it. We're going to play 32 minutes and maybe more to see who wins the championship. Quincy with the ball, the shot by Keith Douglas. He misses, stolen away, and on the battle for it, Douglas picks up a foul, his first, as Jay Heiler had taken the rebound, and it'll be Maine South with the ball and the foul on Douglas, his first of the game. Turnover, and the Hawks start out in the backcourt. That's Bloom up on defense. Cross-court pass to Heiler. Long pass underneath, off the fingertips of Fiddler, and over the end line, turnover. Quincy brings it up the floor. Quincy has played in the championship game 4 times. They won it once, and you've got to go back to 1934 for that, and finish second in 1952, and again in 65, and again in 72. Underneath, Theodore, and it's 2-0, Maine South. 10 teams have won championships with unbeaten seasons, including the girls' team, coached by Sue Strong from Sterling in 1977.
All right, we'll watch the super aggressive Jeff Baker playing the point position on their 1-2-2 zone. As he comes out, tries to get the ball, fouls Doug Reed.
Back to live action now. Reed top of the key, right side with the bounce pass to Ball. In and out, and the rebound to Baker, who in his enthusiasm lost it over the end line.
Gentlemen, I don't know whether you had a chance to notice Jerry Leggett tonight, but he's resplendent in a salmon-colored suit, green shoes. Oh, boy.
From the side. Shot is up and good. Douglas gets the first bucket of the evening for Quincy, and it's 2-2. Pressure on the ball, and Heiler is still in the backcourt to crawl. Back to Heiler in the middle, underneath Fiddler.
Well, that's what Rich Herron said. Against that press, you've got to score. You can't be content just to get the ball over the middle. You've really got to attack it, make them pay for it.
But once you get it over the middle against that press, you have them outnumbered.
Yeah.
You've got to take it to the basket. Douglas gets his 4th point. Game is tied at 4. Really, it's a numbers game then, Coach. You're generally 3-on-2.
But, you know, a lot of teams are just so happy to get it across. They
just stop with it.
Thank goodness we've got it across the line.
Rudd steals it. Here come the Blue Devils. From the side, Ball. Underneath, saved by Reed. Quincy keeps it alive. Underneath for Douglas, and he's fouled by Fiddler.
Well, here's the feed into Douglas now. Watch it from Reed. Fiddler tried to get in front of him, but was too late. Reed.
Live action, inbound pass, and up with the ball on the steal. Maine South, Heiler in the middle. Good pass, underneath, Baker. 6-4, Maine South. Yes, for our viewers, to better explain what we're talking about, against that full press, once you get the ball over the timeline, count the number of shirts in white as against the number of shirts in blue, and invariably, the white shirts will outnumber the blue shirts 3-2. From out of the corner, Douglas, and he's got all of the Quincy points, and the game is tied at 6-6. Now, right now, there are 3 white shirts and 2 blue shirts in that end of the floor. See what I mean? Underneath, Fiddler. But you must go to the ball with go to the bucket with the ball. And so far, Maine South is doing that beautifully, Coach. 8-6, Maine South over Quincy. 5:14 to go. First period, Rudd fakes, puts it up. What a nice move. 8-8, and these two teams are starting out like they finished semifinal play this afternoon, going full bore. Long pass, tipped away. Up with it is Douglas. Now, you may have them outnumbered, but you don't throw the ball 40 feet.
Now, their key man is Baker in the middle.
Ball with a turnaround. 10-8, Quincy.
Baker in the middle. You can't fool too much with that long lob.
Coming our way. Out of bounds, Maine South.
Sullins telling Baker, you got to come up and meet that pass.
Over the timeline, Crowell with the ball for Maine South. That's a zone set up now by Quincy underneath for Baker, tapped away out of bounds. It goes to Maine South. Inbounding it'll be Fiddler. Dan Fiddler's a 6'4" senior. Maine South playing in its first ever try for the championship. Rolling it up and in, Theodore. He's got 4, and the game is tied at 10. Looks like we're off and rolling for a high-scoring ball game, and both of these teams can do that. Put points on the board. In the corner, turnaround by Douglas, left to the lane. Douglas has got 8 points. I think he's hit 4 out of 4. Thank you, Jack. 12 to 10. Quincy leading, Maine South in the backcourt. Crawl over the timeline. In the middle, picked off by Douglas. Lead pass for Rudd. Too far? Maybe. We'll see. Look at him move. Douglas. In and out. Heartbreak. Foul on Rudd. Oh, boy.
Well, we're going to see little Mike Rudd in action. He can create more havoc for a guy 5'8" than any little man I know. Look at him. Now, he's not out of this thing yet. He's still causing a problem.
3:50 to go in the backcourt. Oh, good call. Tyler stepped over the line. There's Jerry Leggett for a fair catch, but he is signaling to his team. Leggett is one of the most colorful men I've seen on the sidelines down here in years. From long range, Reed. 14 to 10 in favor of Quincy. In the backcourt, Crawl of Maine South to Heiler. Crawl in the middle. There's Baker. Beautiful. 14 to 12. Maine South fans a moment ago. Quincy leads by 2, 3:15 to go. And this title game is starting out like a house of fire.
Man-to-man defense now. Quitman Sullen says, let's take a man-to-man. But who's going to take Douglas man-to-man?
The ball bounces free. Here's Heiler on the break. Beautiful move. 14-14, game tied. And Maine South, the Park Ridge, shows you they can run with the best of them. Rudd with the ball for Quincy, down the right wing to Ball. Back out on top to Bloom. In the middle to Ball, and he's fouled over the shoulder. Baker, that's 2 on Baker. And Quitman Sullins can ill afford to lose him.
All right, let's watch him in their offense now. Watch Steve Ball as he posts up. He's going to go down, if we can see it, turn, pivot. Baker reaches around.
Back to live action, inbound pass to Reed. Quincy's hit 7 of 11 from the field. Make it 7 of 12 now. Make it 7 of 13, make it 8 of 14. All right. Tipped up and in by Ball. He's got 4. 16-14. Quincy leading. Crawl in the backcourt. Maine has hit 7 of 8. Scramble at midcourt and a foul on Reed. His first. 13 foul against Quincy. Inbounding the ball, Jay Heiler in front of our microphone and cameras. Into Crowell. Johnny Crowell is a senior. A lot of seniors out there in the ball on the basketball floor. Turnaround by Baker. He's got 6, and the game is tied at 16.
This is that. Look at that little guy go.
Look at Rudd. Is he beautiful?
See, they anticipated a switch on defense, only the back men never switched. They just let the little guy go. They don't believe it, I think, when he goes down the middle.
You give Rudd the open door, he runs through and slams it in your face. On the steal, there he is again. Get him to steal the ball and the basket to Rudd. He's got 6, and it's 2016 Quincy. Heiler in the backcourt, over the timeline. Flips it over to Crawl. Lead underneath. All alone, Theodore. It's a gambling defense that Quincy plays. You live by the sword, sometimes you die by it. But I'll tell you, it makes for exciting basketball. Rudd in the corner to Ball. Quincy leading 20-18. To Bloom, to Rudd. Round the horn and in the corner. Reed underneath to Douglas. Boy, he is some kind of basketball player. 22-18. Douglas has 10. He had 22 and 20 in 2 respective games that we've seen him here in Champaign. Last night and this afternoon. Underneath to Theodore. Didn't get it. Whistle on the play. Foul will be called on Reed, and that is going to be his second. That's Quitman Sullins, coach of Maine South.
All right, we're going to see a nice pass to Theodore along the baseline. There he gets it, fumbles it a little bit, and goes up. Reed fouls.
Shooting a pair, Chris Theodore, senior center. He's got 6.
Well, pulled the string on that one, Tom. Chris always looks like he's a little bit tired out there, and perhaps he is, but he's a workhorse for this ball club.
Rebound in the middle, grabbed off, battle, ball on the floor, over the end line, out of bounds to Maine South. Quite a scramble by Bruce Douglas in there, number 25. Rudd went over and did a little housekeeping, turned the officials and said everything's all right here. Heiler inbounds it to Baker. Drops it, picks it up. Crowell with it, bringing it back out for Maine South. 22-18 in favor of Quincy. We're into the final minute of the first period. Baker a turnaround. Tip. Rebound, Fiddler. Whistle, foul in the middle. Going to be on Bruce Douglas of Quincy.
All right, we're going to see on the replay what Douglas does. I really didn't see it myself. Perhaps we can pick it up here. Well, he looks like he gave him a little nudge right over the back.
They had a little elbowing contest. I think that Douglas was the last one to elbow. He and Fiddler. Fiddler gets his 5th point of the evening, 22-19. There goes that manicure. By the time this game will be over, that manicure, did you see the young lady on the monitor chewing on a fingernail? Rebound, Douglas, 22-19. Quincy has the ball in the lead. 34 seconds to go, first period. And Jerry Leggett pats the top of his head and holds up one finger.
That means delay for one shot.
25 seconds to go. Maybe when the game is over tonight, he'll be holding up one finger to say we're number 1 in the state. And we're unbeaten.
He wears a beautiful pin in his lapel that a jeweler gave him down there. And Quincy saying we're number 1, and he says we hope we can still wear it after tonight.
Mike Rudd battled that ball right down to the hardwood on the floor here at the Assembly Hall. Lost it over the sidelines. Out of bounds, it's going to Maine South. 10 seconds. Kicked by Bloom, out of bounds, Maine South. But 2 seconds are gone off the first period clock. 8 remain. That's concentration. Pretty girl looking at the game. Underneath. Theodore couldn't hang on. Picked up by Heiler. There's the buzzer. 22-21. Quincy leads. We've come to the end of the first period of play.
All right, here's a last-second basket by number 10, Jay Heiler. Nice baseline shot, hits nothing but the courts. Ought to be a nice boost for Maine South going into the second quarter.
Quincy leads by 1, 22-21. Jack, you might come back to coaching. You could find a team that'd shoot like this. Maine South, 83% on 10 of 12. Quincy, 11 of 17, 64%. Quitman Sullins coaching the Maine South Ball Club. I tell you, this
is no stranger to state finals either. He's been in the Arkansas state final twice.
First time Maine South has ever played for the title. Tip controlled by the Hawks. Fiddler turnaround, rolls the rim, and Douglas rebounds. Clears to Bruce Douglas. In the middle to Rudd. Flip to Reed, traveling.
I like the expression on the little guy's face, too. He rarely changes expression.
I don't know if these two teams will run out of gas following those semifinal overtime wins, but they have started this basketball game with a rush. Fiddler all alone for 2 underneath. 23-22. Maine South has the lead, and they haven't led in the ball game since it was 8-6. Turnaround by Douglas. Underneath, ball gets the rebound and scores for Quincy. 24-23. The Blue Devils on top. Heiler over to Crawl. In the middle to Baker. Underneath. Theodore
Well, they may not have enough digits on that clock if this keeps up.
Tell you, we had trouble with the clock in the third place playoff game. It might get so hot from pumping up totals up there, it might burn out a bearing the way these two are going. Rudd to the baseline. Rebound, Baker. Maine South with the ball. They lead by 1 at 25-24. Heiler.
Heiler anticipated that time, but his man wasn't on the wing where he should have been.
He was trying to hit Fiddler, and they misconnected. Fiddler on the roof.
Maine South still going man-to-man. Quitman Sullins thinks that's better than the zone they employ.
Foul will be called on Reed. That's his third. Heiler will inbound the ball for Maine South. Hold it. 1 and 1. They've got to go to the free throw line. Here's Payne into the ball game, and Reed coming out for Quincy. At the line, Jay Heiler, senior, 6-footer. Wants to be a sports announcer. I talked to him earlier today and tried to get him to go into some legitimate line of work, but his heart is set on it. Jay is a very nice young man. He's got 5 points. His team is ahead by 2, 26-24.
And he wants to go to Southern Cal.
Yes, he's coming out to Los Angeles to go to the University of Southern California. In fact, I spoke with his father during the games here earlier this evening. He came by to say hello. Quincy with the ball. Tried to pass it in the middle to Douglas. Picked off by the alert Maine South defense. Down to Baker, driving, shooting. It's good. It's good.
It's good. It would have been good anyway. They called it goaltending. You can see the drive by Baker, and that's a difficult drive along the baseline. There, who was that? Number 33.
That was Douglas,
yeah.
Way up there. And that's Douglas missing, and the rebound comes off to Fiddler. Long lead pass, Theodore on the break. Missing, Douglas rebounds. Keith Douglas, that is, down to Rudd. Rudd driving down the left side, stops. Back out on the left side, traveling call against Quincy. Down 29-24. They have been outscored 8-2 since the end of the first quarter of play. And that was 2 minutes and 13 seconds ago. Heiler with the ball. All the way. Hands it off. Basket's good.
All right, here's the handoff again. Nice penetration against the zone. Watch Heiler. He'll dish the ball off. Fiddler underneath. Makes the bucket and draws the foul.
Foul is on Keith Douglas, and that is his second. And for Fiddler, he's got 9 points. And I don't think young Dan has had to shoot the ball any more than 2 feet on any of them. 32, 24. 8-point lead for Maine South, and they've outscored Quincy 11-2.
Maine South now shifting back into a zone. Constantly changing defenses, making Quincy guessing.
Ball. He's got 8. 32-26. Come on, says that pretty lady. Pulling for Quincy, perhaps? Well, we may never know.
Quincy just took the press off.
Back out on top to Heiler. They're in their zone. 1-2-2.
Yeah, maybe Quitman may make him come out just like he did in the second game in the delay.
That's right. In the corner to Baker. Back out to Heiler. He's alone. Can't pass it up. 34-26. Maine South leading. Quincy. 4:44 to go first half. Douglas. Back out to Rudd. To Douglas. Into Douglas. To Rudd. Right side to Ball. Rebound, Douglas. Turnaround 5-footer. Douglas has got 12. 34-28. Quincy down by 6. 4:22 to go, and Heiler walks it into the front court. Left to the lane, steps in. Beautiful move.
that zone. He's just penetrating right into that seam, and nobody is picking him up.
I don't think anybody figured Heiler was that good a shooter. He hasn't shown that much. He scored 6 points in each of the 2 wins by Maine South. All of a sudden, Heiler in this ball game has got 10 so far. Foul is going to be called on Theodore, his first.
The thing that impresses me more than anything is the fact that this Maine South Ball Club has shown speed. They played well today, but they've been rather deliberate. They've shown more speed than they did in any other game today. It seems that they are capable of playing whatever game is necessary.
No question.
Fine team, excellently coached ball club.
4 minutes to go in the half timeout. Maine South 36, Quincy 28. Tom Kelly, Jack Burmaster, Floyd Brown. The title game, Maine South leading Quincy by 8 at the 4-minute mark, and this the first half of play. These two teams have been up and down the court 22-21. Quincy was on top at the end of the first period, and they've been outscored here now 15-6 by Maine South, and so they've got an 8-point deficit trying to overcome.
Also, Jerry Leggett, as we said before, has called off his full court press. I guess he figures that it's not netting him anything. In fact, it's costing him, Tom. As you pointed out, Maine South shooting nothing but layups against him.
That's right.
They turned the ball over a few times, but too many layups.
Turning the numbers game into their advantage. Douglas in the middle, nice turnaround. Oh, hard play. Rebound, grabbed by Ball, put it up, fouled. Who got him? Either Theodore, no. Going to be number 24, that'd be Crowell.
All right, there's a lot of action going on under the bucket. That ball goes up and bounces around and bounces around. A lot of blue shirts there. Ball finally picks it up, and it looks like, is it 44 Fiddler, I think.
No, it was Crowell that reached in from behind Ball and got him on the arm. The ball had him blocked off, and we didn't see it, but the official did as he reached in from the backside. Ball has a total of 9 points, 36-29. Maine South leading Quincy, 3:52 to go in the half. Rebound comes to Baker. Maine South on the attack. Crowell underneath. Fiddler driving, shooting, got it. Basket's good.
All right, there's a good feed off here. Watch Fiddler now as he moves in, makes that good power move. And number 21, as you can see, Mike Payne over the shoulder.
Fiddler makes it a 3-point play. He's got a total of 13, and it's 39-29. Maine South leading by 10. In the game for Quincy is Robinson, number 13. Bruce Douglas with the ball. 3-second violation, a turnover for the Blue Devils. Might remind you that Maine South trailed East Moline by 10 late in the third quarter in the semifinal game and came on to win in overtime 77-76. Bloom is back in the ball game. And Robinson is out. No, Robinson stays in. Payne has come out for Quincy.
This is their stack offense, as Sullins calls it, against the zone. Simply calls it stack.
Fiddler drives. Tip is back out. Saved by Heiler. Over to Baker. That one's tipped back out. Douglas, 3 against 3 now. And Ball from the side. He's got 11. 39-31. Maine South leading by 8. Biggest margin, 10. 2:50 to go, first half. And the Hawks of Maine South have the ball. Underneath, baseline. Theodore, offensive foul.
All right, here we are. Action on the baseline. Baker into Theodore. Fake, baseline, no question. Offensive foul. What do we got on Theodore now?
He's got 2, Coach. Theodore has 2, Baker 2. Crowell and Fiddler 1 each. For Quincy, Keith Douglas 2, Doug Reed has 3, Bruce Douglas, Payne, and Rudd 1 foul each. Bruce Douglas underneath, turn around. Missed by Keith, lead out pass, Heiler, top of the key. Free throw line, jumper. Tip back out. Rudd keeps it alive. It's 3 against none. Underneath, Douglas blew it. Tip is up and good by Douglas. No basket.
Well, that certainly is a controversial call, but I think it is the right call. He did foul before he tapped that ball up, Tom. I don't know if we're going to get a replay on it or not. All right, here we go. You see the tip from the zone. Off that zone, Rudd gets a piece of that ball, tips it out there, and we see 25 Douglas go up. He misses, and see 33 over the back. Keith Douglas. Close call.
41-31. Maine South with Pearl getting 2. In the corner, Douglas, who's got 3 fouls, back out to Bruce. Back over to Bruce. Into Keith, turn around. On the rim, it won't go, but he's fouled by Theodore. Hold it. Going to be on Heiler, his first. We'll pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is WGN Television, Chicago.
At the free throw line is Keith Douglas. The young man has 12 points with 3 fouls. 41-32, Maine South leading. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Quincy, another uphill struggle. 41-33, Douglas converts them both. Reed will be in next time the ball is dead. Don't forget that Jack Burmaster will have a couple of his coaching colleagues at halftime. They're going to discuss what's going on in this basketball game. It'll be Lee Cabuti of Champaign Central and Bill Warden of Morgan Park. Bill won a state tournament championship down here not too many years ago. In fact, it was back in 1976. Beat Aurora West. Baker gets his 10th point, 43-33, and Baker came out of there holding the side of his head like somebody had given him an elbow as a souvenir. In the corner, Keith Douglas. Tough zone set up by Maine South. Rudd, Bruce Douglas, Bloom in the corner. Quincy down by 10. Only a minute 15 to go in the half. Underneath, lob for Keith. Can't get it off his hands. Here comes Maine South. Out of the backcourt, Prowl over the timeline. Minute 4 to go. 10-point lead for Maine South. Remember, this team scored 72 points a game on an average, and 10 times went over 80 points on the season. 30-1. They're playing for the big trophy tonight. Baker over to Crowell. On the other hand, Quincy, 32 straight. Beautiful give and go. Heiler feeds it back out. We've got a foul on Heiler charging. Well, Heiler's intentions were beautiful. Watch it again and you'll see Heiler on the give and go. Underneath, charged. Good call. Reed is in and Bruce Douglas is out for Quincy. 10-point lead for the Hawks. And the running Blue Devils are going to have to get up and get to going.
Look like it's been the running Maine South Park Ridge ball team. They've been the ones who've really been aggressive in moving the ball.
Rudd, top of the key. 20 seconds in the corner to Bloom. In the middle, Keith Douglas. He's got 16. 43-35. Maine South, 10 seconds, leading by 8. Fiddler driving the baseline. Back to Theodore. Rebound, tip back out. Rudd has it. 1 second in the air. The half is over. And what a racehorse half of basketball it was. The score, halftime. Maine South 43, Quincy 35. Here's Floyd Brown.
Thank you very much, Tom Kelly. Well, it's certainly been something of a turn of events here. We would have anticipated this Park Ridge Ball Club to be a bit slower than they have been and be a little more deliberate. They have tried previously to slow this Quincy Ball Club down, and they were just lucky to get into out of the Super Sectionals. They won by 1 point after being slowed down. But here tonight, they're running with them, this Maine South team, and they're doing a great job. In Tournament Central, here is Jack Burmaster.
Thank you, Floyd. We're at halftime in the game that will decide the 1979 championship. Tom Kelly will be along in a few moments to give you a wrap-up on the first half. Our coverage of the state tournament will continue after this.
Well, the running Blue Devils from Quincy and the high-flying Hawks of Maine South have given us quite a first half of basketball, an exciting 32 minutes. And if you're a Maine South fan, you especially like the last 8 minutes of play. They were trailing 22-21 at the end of the first period, and then went on a scoring rampage that has seen them take an 8-point lead here at the intermission, erasing that 1-point deficit as they scored a total of 22 points while holding the Quincy Blue Devils to only 13. So it is a lead here at the end of the half, 43-35, an 8-point advantage for Maine South. We'll check the scoring for Maine South. A total of 10 points for Baker. Fiddler's got 13. I don't think he's outside of free throws to shoot the ball over 3 feet at any one of those field goals. 8 points for Theodore. Heiler's got 10, playing an outstanding floor game, and Crowell has 2. For Quincy, 11 points for Steve Ball, and Keith Douglas, who's an all-tournament performer to be sure, has 16. We have 6 points scored by Mike Rudd and 2 points scored by Doug Reed. Bloom has played, has not scored. Bruce Douglas has played, did not score. And we had Mike Payne in the ball game, and he did not score. 53% for Quincy, hitting 16 of 30 and 18 of 26. Phenomenal shooting percentage for Maine South, 69. Maine South, 43, Quincy, 35. That's the halftime score. Now, some input on what we can look for in the second half. Let's join Jack Burmaster and a couple of fine coaches. Jack, over to you.
Okay, Tom, with me in the final coaches circle are 2 outstanding coaches in the state of Illinois. On my far left is my friend of many years, Lee Cabuti of Champaign Central High School, and on my immediate left, Bill Warden, coach of the 1976 Morgan Park State Championship team. Lee, I must say I've admired you for years and years. I've always considered you the best defensive coach in the state of Illinois, and oftentimes when we coaches get together, I said it's a shame there's one guy in the state I wish would win the state championship before he hangs it up, and that's Lee Cabuti, and you almost did it one year a long time ago. What are your feelings on this tournament?
First of all, Jack, thanks a lot for those fine comments. I appreciate it very much. Well, gosh, I thought from the very first game, Maine South's one of the best coach teams that I've seen in this tournament. Anybody can hold the ball in front of about 16,000 people, and they're all booing, but he knows what he's going to do, and I don't think he'd have won that ball game without doing that. And they've made Quincy stop pressing, and I wonder if anybody's done that all year. Tremendous passing ball club, and intelligent, and seem to do the little things that it takes to win a game. I would still consider Quincy a favorite this second half, but I'm very impressed with Maine South.
Well, thank you, Lee. Bill, I can remember in '76, Tom and I were doing up here, and I think it was a last-second shot by Levi Cobb that stunned the whole crowd when you won the state championship, and I believe that was against West Aurora.
Yeah, it wasn't Levi. He did everything else, but Larry Smith made the last shot.
Larry Smith, all right. Levi did do about everything else.
Yes, he sure did.
That was quite a ball game. What are your observations on this game, Bill? Are you a little bit surprised?
Yeah, I am. I thought that it's kind of tough for a team like Maine South to come back and play and be as sharp and quick and as aggressive as they are with that amount of rest. And I'm just very impressed. I just would like to second what Lee said. And been tremendously impressed with the job that Coach Sullins has done with Maine West, one of the best coached teams, Maine West, Maine South.
Oh, there's a lot of Maines up there.
Yeah, right. One of the best coached teams I've seen, not only down here, but anywhere. And Jerry Leggett's also a super coach, so it'll be interesting to see the adjustments in the second half.
What do you think Jerry's going to do? He's undefeated this year. He doesn't know how to lose, so what's he going to come up with? Anything different?
Well, I don't know. He's got to stop those easy buckets underneath off that press, and it'll be interesting to see what adjustment he does make if he goes to pressure again.
Lee, you're the defensive expert. What do you think he'll do?
Well, I was surprised Quincy in one of these games went to a man-to-man and did a good job man-to-man. And, well, they're quick, and all those kids have good balance. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if, I don't think they're going to sit back for too much longer. They're sitting back in that zone, and they're either going to move their zone out again, or they're going to go to man-to-man and apply a little more pressure on Maine South.
I noticed that Quincy off their zone is doing a lot of tipping now. Instead of catching that ball, they're just tipping it out to the little guys and letting them go. Is that another new wrinkle that has developed?
Dolph Stanley used to do that quite a bit. I recall playing Dolph at Centrated Tournament when he was at Rockford Auburn, and when he's had a good jumper, he tipped that out. But you don't see many teams do that. It seemed like they tip for a spot out around the free throw line, and when those guards are there to get it.
Have you ever seen a pair of guards one guard like Quincy has, the little fella?
He is tough, but that number 10 for Maine South doesn't have to take a back seat for anybody.
Okay, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for your observations. The second half will be starting in just a couple of minutes, and that means I must join Tom Kelly and Floyd Brown out at courtside. Our coverage of the championship will continue after this.
We've got a moment. Let's take a look at the trophy these teams are battling for here at the Assembly Hall.
This is it, the championship trophy. It symbolizes best in state in the Class AA basketball tournament. Be sure to stay with us after the game to see the victors claim this prize.
They're back on the court. Maine South and Quincy. And Maine South holding on to an 8-point advantage, having outscored Quincy in the second period by 9 to erase a first period 1-point deficit. I was interested in your remarks about Lee Caboody and his remarks about the outstanding coaching job that Quitman Sullins has done with this team.
Well, as I said before, Tom, I think the community down here figured that this was the one team that didn't have a chance. At least they were the darkest of dark horses. And, well, I guess that's what makes a tournament a tournament. Certainly they have surprised everybody.
Well, I'll tell you, they are a beautifully coached basketball team, which is not to say that Quincy isn't. Don't misunderstand me. But you've had a ball club from Maine South that against De La Salle held the basketball game in the light of a booze from 14,000 fans and some heavy criticism in the paper, and yet that's how they won it, 37-27. And Quitman Sullins told Jack Burmaster and myself yesterday, he said, let me tell you something. If I were coaching a team of all-stars, I'd let them go because that's what the crowd wants. I came down here to win the tournament, and the only way we could beat De La Salle was to pull them out of that zone. He turns around and contrasts that with a wide-open style of ball here this afternoon, and tonight his ball club can really do it all. Can Quincy come back? Well, we'll see about the Blue Devils. Out of the corner, Reed misses, rebound Fiddler, and Maine South has the ball. Heiler with the ball, leading by 8. Nice ball handling guard, beautiful pass underneath. And under all alone is Theodore, and he has his 10th point, and it's 45-35, a 10-point lead again for Maine South. Against the zone, in the corner to Keith Douglas, back out to Reed, to Rudd. Quincy with the ball and facing an uphill struggle. Plus, Quincy had that this afternoon to beat Bennett Academy. The only time they led in the ball game was at 49-47, and then when the whole thing was over, Douglas gets his 18th point, 45-37, 8-point lead again, Maine South. Foul over the timeline, shoves it in the corner to Fiddler, baseline under to Theodore.
They just keep working that same pattern over and over again, working Fiddler and Theodore underneath, and very effective. And when those two guys get the ball close, it's Katie bar the door. They're going to put it up.
Maine South by 10, out of the corner, Reed. Rebound, off to Baker. Baker clears it to Fiddler, in the middle to Heiler. You know, it's interesting also, Coach Burmaster. This is the one team that Quincy matches up with pretty good in size, and yet they have more than held their own against Quincy on the boards. Baker underneath the Fiddler. Passed it up, gave it to Heiler. Open 10-footer. 49-37, a 12-point lead, Maine South. 6:12 to go, third period. Quincy's going to have to catch some lightning in a bottle here. Ball drives over the rim, rebound Fiddler. Clear out at midcourt to Heiler. 3-on-3, Heiler passing, baseline, Baker. Rebound, Keith Douglas. Here come the Devils. Rudd in the middle, all the way. Traveling, no. Fouled by Fiddler. No basket. Fiddler picks up the foul, his second.
Well, let's watch Michael Rudd again. Here he goes on one of his soirees right down the middle of the floor. Nothing stops him, and you saw Fiddler. He reached in just before he got to the bucket.
If Rudd ever makes it to the NBA and he pulls that play off, he'll get the bucket and go to the free throw line on the continuation. If he gets there, beautiful rebound and tip by Douglas. He's got 20, and it's 49-39 as Maine South has a lead of 10 and the ball. Heiler passing to Fiddler. Rebound tipped out to Rudd. 2-on-2. Rudd down the right side in the middle to Keith Douglas. He pumps it up, gets the good bounce.
I'd call a timeout now, I think, if I were Quitman, and I'm not Quitman.
8 points.
He's going to let him go. 49-41. Steal by Rudd, nearly so. Heiler holds on, equal to the task, to Fiddler. Now they're going to slow it down a little bit, I think, Coach.
Let's see if they pull him out. Now he's going to go into his, what he calls his stack offense against his own.
Turnaround by Baker. Beautifully executed. He's got 12. 51-41. Again, Maine South by 10. In case you think that Mike Rudd at 5'8" or 9" is too small to play the pro game, take a look at Calvin Murphy next time you see him. Douglas underneath, rebounding, fighting, still fighting for it. Puts it up.
I can't believe it. Four efforts, wasn't it? Four or five.
Boy, didn't he try? Heiler passing, tipped away. Douglas comes up with the ball. Douglas was named all tournament, and rightly so. Rudd. Rebound, Theodore, Maine South. Two big misses for Quincy. The innumerable tries by Douglas and that one by Rudd. Powell with the ball. Boyd Batts has the individual point total record underneath Baker.
That's what they like to do. Work Baker along the baseline, and he just kind of lulls him to sleep.
In a championship game, the most points, 37. Boyd Batts. I mentioned that because Douglas has 22. Timeout. Maine South 53, Quincy 41. A lot of time left. 11 minutes and 51 seconds for sure. Not discounting an overtime session. Maine South is a tough-looking basketball team.
Tom, I think that Jerry Leggett has got to make a defensive adjustment. No longer can he afford just to merely trade baskets. He's got to start shutting them off, and as Lee Caboody said, maybe go man-to-man. Certainly they're quick enough.
Reed is in the game, out to Rudd. Rudd back to Reed. In the corner to Payne. Reed in the middle. Bruce Douglas, turn around. That's his first bucket. 53-43, 10-point lead again, Maine South.
He shoots like a Douglas, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Down the side to Heiler. Driving underneath, Fiddler manhandles it away and scores his 15th point of the game, 55-43. Boy, Fiddler is strong. Reed to Payne, to Reed. Rudd. Over to, back to Rudd. Rebound underneath, Reed. Tried to put the shot up, we got a jump ball.
Jump ball, and we got 33. Douglas going back in, but he's going in for the jumper.
We've got Tim Cisna in the ball game for Quincy. He's number 45 when you see him. Cisna has the tip. And the ball. Out to Rudd, Cisna. In the corner to Bruce Douglas, to Cisna. Foul on Bruce Douglas away from the ball, his second.
All right, let's see how it gets Bruce Douglas. You see he passes and he moves across the lane, but in so doing, he knocks a player over. That's Kroll, I believe.
I think the coach wanted to give Keith Douglas a rest. He was really huffing and puffing down the other end of the court. That double overtime, and this is not to take anything away from Maine South because they've just been beautifully coached. They started out from the get-go to win, but I think Keith Douglas was just tired. They had to sit him down for a while.
Boy, I'll tell you, I'll get this one. Look out. I thought Jack Rosenberg and I were going to collect a trophy of our own, namely John Kroll. I thought he was coming right in our lap. Basketball and all. Boy, the action is fast and furious. What a scramble between these two clubs. Two beautifully coached basketball teams. Cisna. Rebound to Kroll. 2:20 to go, third quarter. And a 12-point lead for Maine South. Underneath, batted away by Douglas. It's out of bounds to Maine South. Reed is coming back in, and Cisna's going out, and Quincy wants to take a timeout. 2:12 to go. The score, Maine South 55, Quincy 43. The Maine cheerleaders on your screen and their names. .212 to go, third period, and Maine South trying to end it all for Quincy. They lead by 12, and they'll be inbounding the ball baseline to the right of their basket. Fiddler gives it into Kroll.
When we talk about guards, we don't say enough about Kroll, or I don't, and Heiler. Now that's a real good pair of guards.
Heiler's been especially impressive tonight.
And Kroll
12 points.
He doesn't make any mistakes either, that Kroll.
Underneath, Baker loses it over the end line.
Quincy needs one, Tom.
Jerry Leggett is talking to his bench like a Dutch uncle. Rudd to ball. Looks good. Short. Rebound, Douglas. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It'll go to Quincy. Ball will inbound the ball for the running Blue Devils. Maine South 30-1, and they've won 11 of those games by 3 points or less. Fouled on Theodore, his third.
We're going to watch that pass into the middle to Douglas, and you can see Theodore, kind of a tackle there around Douglas' legs.
Inbounding the ball will be Ball. Lobs it back out to Rudd. Down the side to Reed, to Rudd, top of the key. Right side to Ball, 18-footer. Rebound, batted alive, underneath. Ball was fouled by Theodore, his fourth. At the free throw line, Ball. Ball, that is his 12th point of the night. 55-44. Quincy down by 11, a minute 28 to go. Ball gets them both. 55-45, a 10-point lead, Maine South. Kroll in trouble, throws it off the foot of Ball. Out of bounds, it'll go to Maine South. Fiddler will inbound. Inbound to Heiler. Here come the Hawks. Heiler, a charging foul. His third.
Well, the Hawks are having trouble getting the ball in, but finally Heiler takes it on a solo down the floor, and as you can see, runs right over Doug Reed.
It'll be Rudd to inbound the ball at the baseline, 95 feet away from Quincy. Minute 19 to go. 55-45, Maine South leading. Third period of play. Ball. Tough zone set up by Maine South. Ball shooting over it. Whistle. Underneath, the foul will be called on Maine South. It's on number 54. That's Loeffler.
Let's see how Loeffler picks it up in there. It's kind of a cheapie in there. He really didn't do a lot of fouling, just a little nudge, but nevertheless, it's a foul. It's going to cost him a 1-and-1.
Douglas at the free throw line has 22 points. He's been at only 6 here in the third quarter after 16 in the first half. Rebound to Loeffler. Clears it over to Heiler. Over to Kroll. Maine South over the timeline. The Hawks lead by 10.
Well, let's see if they go in the deep freeze now with 55 seconds left. No, I don't think Leggett's going to let him. Yeah, he's going to come out man-to-man now. Watch him run their man-to-man offense. Oftentimes they get a nice little backdoor play on this.
How about that? Heiler took it to the rim, came up short. Rebound to Rudd. Rudd right up the middle. Baseline to Reed. He flips it over, and it's out of bounds. Saved by Fiddler, knocked over the end line. Ball inbounds to Reed. Back to Rudd. Top of the key. 55-47. Maine South on top by 8. Heiler. Over to Crowell. 12 seconds to go, third period. Quincy is 8 points behind. Fiddler, stolen by Rudd. 3 seconds, 2. Won't count. The quarter comes to a close at the end of 3. Maine South 55, Quincy 47. Talented and acrobatic group of young ladies, these Quincy cheerleaders.
Here we go, Tom, the final quarter of the big one down here. Whitman Sullins doing an outstanding job, as is Jerry Leggett and brother. They're going to pull out all the stops for the final 8 minutes.
Maine South shooting 68%. Quincy 40%. Maine South leading by 8. Keith Douglas and Chris Theodore. Quincy in blue, Maine South in white. The final 8, the tip. Stolen by Rudd. Rudd of Quincy is fouled by number 10, Heiler, and that's his 4th. That Rudd is as quick as a thought. Boy, he was out of the backcourt and at that free throw line before you could even say it.
I don't know how he came up with that jump ball.
He just stole it away like a thief in the night. Big free throw. He's got 9, and it's 55-48. 55-48, missing. Rebound, Baker. Over to Crowell, still in the backcourt. Long pass underneath to Fiddler. Turn around for 2.
Beautiful move.
Boy, he is tough underneath.
Fiddler and Theodore, what a bunch of muscle they got going for him on either side of the bucket. They've taken up a lot of slack left by Jeff Baker in this game.
Shot no good. Rebound is off to Baker. Baker clears it to Crowell. Cross court over to Heiler. 57-48, 11-point, make it a 9-point lead for Maine South. Heiler with it. Baseline underneath. Baker loses it over the end line. Boy, Fiddler is strong underneath.
Yes, he is. He seems to be getting stronger every game.
Yeah. He is a powerful-looking 6'4" kid. He looks bigger than that to me, Coach. In the corner, Heiler. Rebound, tip to Rudd. 3-on-2. Lead pass, Keith Douglas. Puts it up, gets it. Basket's good, and a foul on Kroll.
Here's the pass over to Douglas coming down the right side. Douglas is going to take it in. Crowell's going to try to hold his line, but he didn't. The official made a good call. He did not get there in time.
57-50 timeout. 7 minutes to go. Maine South leading for the championship. These two teams come into this basketball game tonight with a combined record of 62 wins and 1 loss. And of those 62 wins, Quincy has 32 of them. And the record for Maine South, obviously, 30-1. Quincy trying to become the 11th team, the 10th men's team, the 11th team overall to do the unbeaten trick. At the line, Keith Douglas. Coming in, Bruce Douglas. Going out, Mike Payne. Keith Douglas has 24 points. Record for a championship game is 37. At 25, 57-51. Quincy been fighting back all night long.
They're not going to get it across, Tom.
They made it.
They made it.
Crowell brings it over the timeline. Quincy back in the zone. In the corner to Heiler. Underneath. Reverse, no good by Baker. Out of the backcourt, Rudd. Driving all the way. Didn't get it. Hung it on the rim.
Well,
Rudd comes up with a jump ball. How did he do that? How did he do that?
Let's watch this now. Let's watch Rudd come around. The Maine bench, Maine South bench feels that there was a foul there by little Mr. Rudd. The official didn't see it that way.
Rudd had a gift 2-pointers. He drove to the rim and came up short. Here's Crowell with the ball. 57-51, Maine South leading.
Watch
Theodore turnaround. He's got 14. 59-51. Maine South leading with 6 minutes to go. Quincy trailing. Cross court to ball. 15-footer. Rebound, Douglas battling on the floor. Douglas can't find it. We got a jump ball. Douglas and Fiddler. That's Bruce Douglas. Let me tell you, a pretty big-sized guys, those two right there. Wouldn't want to get caught between them. Tip control by Maine South. Out of the backcourt, Crowell with the ball.
Well, they're having luck going inside. Let's see if they keep it that inside game.
Well, Baker, foul is going to be called on Douglas, and that is his 4th. Keith Douglas has 4.
All right, we're going to have a look and see where number 33, Keith Douglas, picks up his foul. He goes over on Baker. I honestly didn't see what he did there. Did he give him the chest as he went up? He must have.
Must have hit him with the body. Bruce Douglas, the other young Douglas on the floor, is only a freshman. Baker has 15 points. 61-51, and Maine South is back on top by 10. Fiddler with 16 points, 5:49 to go.
Zone defense really moving in there, trying to cover up the middle, but they didn't cover ball on the outside.
61-53, Ball has got 15. Maine South leading, 5.5 from the seconds ticking away. Underneath, Baker all alone.
Quincy cannot get together on that baseline at all. Baker is ripping apart under there, either Baker or then Theodore or Fiddler. They're taking turns on the baseline.
Ball from outside. Rebound comes down. Baker has it. Clears it at midcourt to Heiler. Heiler driving down. Stops. Traveled. Heiler traveled with it. Out of bounds. Quincy. Maine South leading by 10. Rudd over the ball. Tough zone defense by Maine South. Long range read, short. Air ball grabbed by Baker. 4:45 to play. Unless Quincy forces a drastic turnaround, the dream is over. For Maine South, the darkest of the dark horses, a dream come true. Followed by Fiddler. Oh, he's strong.